All right, all right, all right, guys. Welcome to Ignite in general, and welcome to Ignite Session 1, Spark Your Career. We are going to embark on an amazing journey to learning the best methods and systems and models in becoming a super successful real estate agent. For those of you who don't know me, I'm James Abdelmalek. I'm a licensed California realtor. I've been selling real estate for over 8 years. Little background: before real estate, I used to be a CPA, certified public accountant, and an auditor in PricewaterhouseCoopers, the biggest accounting firm in the world. And I used to be an adjunct professor teaching graduate students finance in Suffolk University, Boston, Massachusetts. I started real estate back in 2016. And I have an MBA, a CPA. I'm a certified investor agent specialist, a certified Palos Verdes specialist, a certified residential specialist, and I'm a luxury home certified from Residential Real Estate Council. I love teaching different topics and explaining different topics in real estate. And I have a successful YouTube channel with almost 9,000 subscribers. That's a little bit about me, a little bit about Keller Williams. Keller Williams, for those of you who joined new, is the biggest real estate franchise in the world, okay? It has over 200,000 agents. It has 1,100 offices worldwide, and it is the number one in sales volume and unit sales, residential and commercial, in the United States. A little bit about the Ignite course. It's a foundational course covering the skills required to propel you as real estate agents into immediate success and productivity and growth. And that is in any markets, whether it was a challenging market, seller's market, or buyer's market, whatever the market is, and at any stage in your real estate career. So by attending Ignite, you are making a very smart decision. It shows that you are learning based and you're going to succeed in your career. In our first session today, as you notice, Spark Your Career, we're just lighting up things. We're going to keep that light on for many, many years until we retire. We will get acquainted with KW and Ignite such that we will apply the KW culture and this market-centered culture in the way we engage and interact with everybody we deal with. And I notice I'm saying everybody we deal with because everybody we deal with is going to give us the business, whether it was family, friends, co-workers, strangers. We're always going to be interacting with people, and how we interact with those people, we will get the business. And we will tap into all the resources KW has to offer to us, and which is a ton of resources that KW will offer us. We're going to go through that. And we're going to create a vision to our future and goals. Any questions so far before we start? Okay. You can go that one. Skip that one too. This is just a calendar. So before we go into the sessions or today's session, I'd like to summarize what Ignite is about, because Ignite is 20 sessions, okay? And it's always good to see where we're starting and where we're going, what to expect from that course, okay? So if you want to summarize what Ignite teaches us, which is, giving us the skills to have a great career, these are the 4 phases, what we expect. Real estate experts, becoming a real estate expert, lead generation, lead follow-up, and transaction. These are the 4 pillars, okay, that will make you successful in your real estate. And we say here real estate expert. We didn't say real estate agent. Notice how we're saying expert, because anybody can be real estate agents. As we know, getting a license to become a real estate agent is not a difficult thing. Anybody can become a real estate agent, unfortunately, but not everybody's going to succeed. Okay? In California alone, we have about 205,000 real estate agents. Okay, so people get the license. They think they're gonna, make a lot of money. They think it's an easy thing. It's a no-brainer. I've heard the term no-brainer before. That's okay. You're just gonna buy people houses or sell people houses and make money. They don't know what it takes to become successful. But here in the first phase, we're gonna learn how to become a real estate expert of choice. Okay, and we're gonna break it down in a little bit. Lead generation, our primary task as real estate agents, our main function is to lead generate. As you know, we're not salary based, we are commission based. So based on the business we do, how we generate leads, that's how we're gonna make money. And after we generate leads, we feed them into our database, we have to follow up with those leads. Because if we don't follow up with those leads are gonna forget about us. So it's very important to have a system for following up with the leads that we generated. And after that is the transaction, writing the offer for the buyer or signing the listing agreement with the seller, accepting offers when you're presenting the seller. So these are the 4 pillars. If we want to break it down to a higher detail to see what to expect, okay, Daniel, you can press thank you. This is what to expect in the Ignite course. The first phase, real estate expert or becoming the real estate expert of choice. Today is the first lesson, spark your career. Today's class. Second class, embrace your job. Going to be on Thursday. Connect with your markets, define your value. When we finish those first 4 classes, we know what it takes to become the real estate expert of choice. Then we're going to tackle our primary function, which is phase 2, lead generation. How do we generate your leads? In session 5. Session 6, grow your database, because the more we generate leads, we feed it to the database grows. It has to be done systematically and in a professional way. Capture leads with open houses, capture leads with social media, capture leads with any means. Okay? That's the second phase. Third phase, as I mentioned, lead follow-up. Keep every lead, follow up with leads, strengthen relationships, qualify potential buyers and sellers. We don't just work with any buyer or seller, we have to qualify them. And we'll get to that in session 13. Finally, transaction. Phase 4, win the buyer, win the seller, work with buyers and sellers, make and receive offers, negotiate the offers, get to the close, plan your future. That's the entire Ignite framework. For the first 3 phases, real estate expert of choice, lead generation, and lead follow-up, you're working on your business. When you work on those first 3, you work on making your business bigger, okay? For the transaction side, you're working in the business. That means you're like working on an escrow right now with the clients, which is a happy time because you're very close to getting your commission check when the transaction closes. We'll get to that. So every class has its own detail and specifics and models and systems that would give you success. Any question about the framework so far? Okay, all right. Next slide. All right, here's today's agenda for tonight's class, Spark Your Career. We're gonna see a new way of thinking, because thinking is very important. Mindset is everything in this business. Because if you don't have the right mindset, you may not succeed. So you have to do the things that's required and at the same time have a positive mindset, a goal you want to attain. We're going to be talking about mindset throughout the entire course, not just this class. We're going to discuss KW culture, we're going to discuss KW value and the market center value, KW resources, and a vision for your future career, and a daily success system, which we'll be trying to do every day throughout the Ignite course and even after that, and then recaps and ahas. So we're going to start by a quote by Gary Keller that he mentioned in his book, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Gary Keller, of course, is the founder of Keller Williams. He's one of the most influential people in the real estate world. He's the co-founder of Keller Williams, as I mentioned, and he started just like any of us, And then he had a vision of, he started Keller Williams in 1983, and then he wanted to make a brokerage of his own, and then he had some visions. And right now, it's, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's one of the biggest real estate franchises, or the biggest franchise in the world. What did he say? He said, anyone can do it, not everyone will. Will you? So anybody can become a very successful real estate agent. Anybody. But not everybody will. Why? Because some people think they're smart enough. I don't need to take training. I don't need to follow systems or models. I don't know what to do. I have enough connections. I can talk people into selling or buying with me. They think they're smart enough, And usually the arrogant fail in anything they do. So anyone can be successful. Anyone can be like Gary Keller. Anybody can be a top producer in whatever city he wants. It's just a matter, will he do what it takes to get there? Okay? So, what Gary Keller did was he sat with the top producers in the country, the most successful real estate agents ever. And he asked them questions to come up with what is the secret behind your success. What did you do so that other agents can follow? And he would apply. And he came up with something called 6 personal perspectives. 6 personal perspectives are the ways successful people who've become before us think and approach problems or challenges. It's about mindset of success. So all these successful realtors or successful people had in common was these 6 personal perspectives. Let's see what they are. First one is called commit to self-mastery, and we'll discuss each one, by the way. I'm just giving like an overview, and then we'll go in each one. Commit to self-mastery is the first one. Number 2, commit to the 80-20 principle. Number 3, move from E to P. We'll get to see what that is. Number 4, make being learning based the foundation of your action plan. Number 5, remove your limiting beliefs. Number 6, be accountable. So we're going to go in each one of those and see what it means. For commit to self-mastery, what do you think that means?
Following through.
Okay, in a way, yes, you're both right. Notice how it says commit to self-mastery, to be master of yourself. And after you become master of yourself, you commit to that. In other words, you control your actions completely. You would be committed to controlling yourself. There is a verse in Proverbs that said, he who controls himself is better than he who controls a city. It's a verse in Proverbs. So to commit to self-mastery is what? First thing is you want to know your goals. You want to know what you want to do in real estate. So when you guys came into real estate, did you think, what is your goal of becoming a real estate agent? What was the purpose? Go.
To help people and add value to others and myself.
Good, that's good. It's an ideal answer, yeah? So think, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, exactly. One of the reasons, there's 3 reasons why I went to real estate. Of course, the earning potential is unlimited. That's 1. 2, I'm my own boss. I manage myself. 3, I manage my schedule. Of course, helping people comes in, and because that's a great satisfaction in itself. But we also have to make a living. And imagine if you can help people and make a lot of money. That's great. So great that you're thinking of helping people, because that's our core value here in Keller Williams. We want to help others, and we want to give quality service, exceptional service. So we have to know our goals. We have to identify what we want to accomplish exactly. Okay? Because if we're just, got the real estate license and we don't have a certain goal, we're not going to be successful. So what is an example of a goal? Like, I want to make 12 transactions a year. I want to make net income of $100,000. I want to make $500,000. You have to have a certain goal. And then when you know the goal you want to attain, make a plan how to get that goal. Because you can set a goal, but the goals have to be smart, specific, measurable, the criteria. But you need to set a goal. You can't be just in real estate without having a goal. And there is a 411 framework and KW commands. We're going to get to that, later, where you have like a weekly goal, a monthly goal, and an annual goal. So without a goal, you can't succeed. For example, you can't just, a friend comes over and you jump in the car and you start the car and your friend asks you where you're going to go. He said, I don't know, I'm just starting the car. You have to plan where you want to go with the car. That's exactly where do you want to go with real estate. Where do you want to be in 2 years from now, 5 years from now? That's the goal. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Very important. Every one of us has a strength. Don't tell yourself, no, I don't have any strength. No, you must have some kind of strength, and everybody's strength is different than the other. Identify your strength. Some of you may have 2, 3, 1, it doesn't matter. Just know what your strength is. And use that strength, leverage it to enhance your real estate business. Whatever that skill may be. Maybe you have a lot of friends. You're a member of a community. You're a member in your church where you can talk to a lot of people and people would want to work with you. You're very good in talking. You're very good in convincing people to do something. Whatever it is, your strength, just identify that. Know your weakness. Every one of us has a weakness. See what your weaknesses are and see how you can treat or remove or improve that weakness, that it's not a weakness that would impede your success in real estate. And when you know that, know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. And all that happens with commit to self-mastery. So when I ask you now, you guys want to commit to self-mastery, what are you guys going to say? You want to commit to self-mastery? It's yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, one of the things is, it's good that you said yes, you're enthusiastic and you're motivated to do that, but you must lay out a plan to commit to self-mastery. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to commit to self-mastery, but you have to lay out a plan. And the plan is, know your goals, set them, and know your strengths and weaknesses, and see how you're going to, employ those strengths in attaining the goals. Second one, commit to the 80-20 principle. How many of you have heard that before? How many of you have heard 80-20 principle? Okay. Anybody on Zoom? Okay. So the 80-20 principle means, and it's a known principle, by the way, 20% of your actions leads to 80% of your results. Okay? So the actions that we do every day, we do a lot of actions. Hopefully they're towards real estate, not, but let's assume in the 8-hour day you have, 8 hours working, you do some actions. 20% of those actions are going to lead to 80% of results. So the idea here is figuring out where's that 20% that I'm working on that would lead to the 80% so we can focus more on that and have, less time for the other things that doesn't give production. So from your point of view, what is the most money-making action that a real estate agent does that would get him 80% of his results? Is it like, for example, showing homes, or is it replying to emails, or is it maintaining the database? What do you guys think? Yeah, in other words, good, good. Both of you are right. Lead generation. Lead generation. So we're supposed to lead generate on average between 2 to 3 hours a day. Okay? This lead generation is going to get us more business. And that's what we want. But responding to emails and searching for homes or showing homes, these are just actions that are not going to get us more results. What's going to get us more results is the lead generation. That's the 20% that gives us 80% of the results. And out of that lead generation, whatever, because lead generation could be different things. It could be cold calling, like what Dan said. It could be door knocking. It could be calling FSBOs for sale by owners. It could be calling expireds. It could be circle prospecting. It could be posting on social media, prospecting on social media. It could be any kind of prospecting that you can imagine. Different types of lead generation. But you're going to notice by the passage of time that 20% of that lead generation brings 80% of that results. So we need to identify in the lead generation which method gets me more results. And everybody's different. You could be good at cold calling. You could be good at door knocking. You could be good on social media. You know, everybody could be different than the other. So how do we know? Since you're starting new, you do everything. You do everything that needs to be taken. Like, for example, you do the cold calling, you call FSBOs, you call expires, you do the social media posts. Whatever is required, and you track your numbers. Every day, track your numbers. Set a goal every day. There's going to be a daily success system that I'm going to show you. We're going to come to that. Track your numbers and measure your results every week. And after 3 to 6 months, you're going to notice one lead generation method is working for you better than others. Okay? When you notice that, then you focus more on that. So if you notice, for example, that I'm very good at cold calling, I'm very good at talking to strangers and converting those leads to a transaction. When you find that out, okay, that's good, then I'm going to focus on that. I'm very good at door knocking. Cold calling is not working with me. Okay, then focus on that. But you won't know it right away. You got to try everything. And by 6 months, you'll be able, from the numbers that you tracked, be able to determine what's working for you and what's not. So that's basically the principle of 20% of your actions leads to 80% of the results. Another thing, one of the strong lead generation techniques is, one of the strongest from my point of view, is your database, is your sphere of influence. Sphere of influence is people you've talked to before. We're going to touch on that in the end of the class. Immediate family, friends, co-workers, people from school. You can always, by the way, I got my real estate license, and just call them and tell them, you want to sell or buy, you know anybody, he's going to help you out. He's going to tell you. So let's say you have 50 friends, okay? Out of those 50 friends, you're going to find that only 5 are the ones who are going to be constantly referring business to you. So focus on those 5, or focus on those 10 friends. These are the 20% you need to focus on. That's just an example on the database on the sphere of influence, okay? And that's commit to the 80-20 principle. That's the second of the 6 personal perspective. The third is move from E to P. So what do you guys think E to P is? Is it like F, G, H, I, K? Okay. E stands for, entrepreneurial. Very good, Dan. Entrepreneurial. And P is purposeful. Impressed? So most people do the entrepreneurial approach, or doing what comes naturally, okay? They do what's natural, what comes naturally, and they want to be in their comfort zone. And those people, usually, when they reach their natural ceiling of achievements, they go down again. So when they reach natural ceiling, they have a disappointment, and then they either, change their job, or, move to another company, or whatever. That's entrepreneurial approach, doing what comes naturally. But what you need to move from this entrepreneurial approach and go to the purposeful approach, which doing what comes naturally, what comes unnaturally. And that's based on steps: focus, models, systems, and breakthroughs. Focus, as I said in the beginning, mindset is very important. You need to focus on what you need to do. You need to follow the models that you're taught. I'm going to give you an example of model right now so that you see the difference between models and systems. You need to follow the systems. Apply the systems. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Everything, the successful people already did it, and you just need to follow their steps. And then you're going to have breakthroughs. So most people don't succeed, whatever they do, not just real estate, is because they follow the entrepreneurial approach and not the purposeful approach. They don't have a big vision of what they can do. That applies to everything, not just real estate. But I mean, 90% of the agents, they don't do that. That's why they're not successful. There's only top who make good in real estate. Another way to give you an example on this is you could be a very skilled basketball player, but you're very skilled in basketball and you play in your college maybe, but does that mean that you're skilled, you're going to play in the NBA? Only very few make it to the NBA, and those who make it in the NBA take excessive training and they follow the models of what successful NBA players do. They're not just lucky. No, they practice like crazy. They train so hard to get where they are. That's the purposeful approach, okay? So, to wrap it up, for moving from E to P, the purposeful approach has a breakthrough because it breaks the natural ceiling of achievement because you follow models and systems and you focus on those. Let's see an example of models. This is, for example, we're going to get into detail on that when we get to lead generation in session 5. We capture leads, we feed it to our database, and those leads, we contact them, and then we can try to convert them, and then we close on them, and then we get repeat business. So that's the model, okay? And this is called relationship management, how we deal with the leads inside. When we lead generate, we capture the leads and we put them in the database, and then eventually they close escrow, and then we get further business from them. That's a model example, but that's not the scope of the class today. But just an example of a model, because I know some of you are going to ask, what do you mean by model? An example of a system is something we're going to take today. It's a daily success system. You're supposed to have 10 conversations every day with 10 different people. Of course, about real estate. And you're supposed to contact 10 different people. How many of the 10 did you contact? It's like a checklist you need to do. 10-5-1 social media engagement. And I know some of you know it from the last Ignite session. You guys remember what 10-5-1 social media engagement is? It's when you're on, let's say Facebook, for example. You make 10 comments, and you send 5 texts, and you make 1 post, okay, every day. Enrichments, try to learn something new every day. I don't care if it's a sentence about real estate, but when you know something new, it builds your knowledge. Buyers or sellers like to work with knowledgeable agents. It's not about, I want to work with the best agent in the city. No. When they talk to you, they feel that you're knowledgeable, they're going to work with you. They're not going to ask you how many years have you been in real estate. When you speak intelligently, they're going to trust and work with you. And then, of course, appointments. If you succeed in getting a buyer consultation appointment or a listing appointment, you would mark it here. Agreements, whatever offers you signed, or listing agreements, and then closings. But that's a higher level. We're going to get to that by the end of Ignite. But at least the first 4 or the first 5 line items in the daily success system we're going to be doing every day starting from today. Okay? And that's where you're going to be tracking your numbers. You see how you track your numbers? I've had like 10 conversations. You're going to mention how many numbers of conversations have you had of the 10 you're supposed to have. 10 contacts, and so on and so forth. And then out of those, you see how many leads you're going to get. Okay. Next slides. Number 4 in the 6 personal perspectives is make being learning based the foundation of your action plan. You have to be being learning based. That's a keyword, and the other keyword is the foundation of your action plan. So, just by attending here today, you show that you are learning based. Okay? Just by attending, whether on Zoom or of course in class, shows you're learning based. It means you're going somewhere. And there is 2 kinds of real estate agents who get their license. Some, let's say for example, you have a friend who got the license like you did, and you tell them, I'm going to training tonight, or I'm attending the training on Zoom. No, I'm not going to take any of this. I know what to do. I already have some friends. I don't need to take that. I already know enough. Okay. So he's ignorance-based, but you are learning-based. Eventually, he's going to get out of the business. He's not going to succeed because he's just depending on, okay, he thinks he's smart. He knows what he's doing. But ignorance-based is, I know what I know, and I'll ignore anything else. And he knows nothing. He's saying that he knows more than the successful people who did this before him. But you're learning-based. I know what I know, and there is more to know. Believe me, even the best agents always want to learn something new, because the real estate market is so dynamic. Even the top agents right now, they have new competition that they have to cope with, because it's not necessarily now that they're always going to get the business, because there's other people who found smarter techniques in getting the business from them. So, for doing's sake, and you will have productivity outside and enlightenment inside. You will have higher self-actualization. Okay? When you're learning based. When you're ignorance based, you're not going to last long in the real estate business. So always be learning, and it's not enough that you're learning. Let's say you learned something in class today. You have to have it as a foundation in your action plan. You have to apply it. Like for example, you learn today that lead generation is very important. Make contacts when you go home. Try to learn something new read something about real estate. Learn 1 sentence that you can apply. It's not enough that you learned in class and that's enough. You got to apply what you learned. So it would stick and will make you grow. Next perspective. And there's just this quote from Albert Einstein about learning. Of course, Albert Einstein, you guys think Albert Einstein is intelligent, or what do you think? Intelligent, right? He's saying this: I'm neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I'm only very, very curious. So he always wants to know about things. How does this process work? What is the outcome of doing this or that? So always be very curious about understanding how the models work and the systems, okay? Number 5, remove your limiting beliefs. So in our line of business, because we run sometimes into seasonal markets, and sometimes, and I think you hear right now, the market is challenging. You got to remove your limiting beliefs in order to succeed, okay? And limiting beliefs can come from inside of any one of us, or it could come from friends or even family. For example, a friend of yours can tell you, you're not going to succeed in real estate. It's a hard business, especially now with the new regulations and the NAR settlement. And I had this friend of mine who went into real estate, left it the second year, he couldn't sell anything. Forget about what he's saying. People who failed in real estate did not follow the necessary models, okay? Have unlimited beliefs, unlimiting beliefs. When you unlimit your thinking, you unlimit your success. It doesn't matter what people think, and reject any negative thoughts in your mind. Unlimit your thinking, you unlimit your success. Limiting beliefs are, for example, I don't have enough time for training. Well, make the time for training. It doesn't mean that you have to attend every single training course that's offered. You just see what you need to learn about and want to be stronger at and attend. And we always have a calendar for all the different kinds of trainings that are here. And whenever you guys want to know a certain training or a certain topic, just ask Dan and he will tell you when that training is going to happen. And another limiting belief, I can't be successful in this market. Why can't you be successful? The other, I mean, science said, yeah, exactly. The others who are successful are no better than you. They're just following certain steps. They're not better than you and they're not luckier than you. They just did what it takes and they got results. They focused on the 20 to get the 80. They followed the models and systems. They had breakthroughs. Another limiting belief, I can't devote 3 hours each day to lead generate. Let's assume you can't devote 3 hours. Devote 2 hours. But you gotta have a time every day to do this because that's gonna make your business grow. And the good news is when you start growing and you start selling more homes, your prior clients are gonna refer you business. You're gonna find them calling up, hey, can I have this? My cousin wants to sell his home. Would you want something? So right now, since you're starting real estate, you have to dedicate as much hours as you can in lead generation. So always remove any limiting beliefs, whether coming from inside your head or your mind or coming from friends or anybody else. Okay? 6, be accountable. So being accountable is very important. One of the things is you always track your numbers, as I mentioned, of the lead generation and contacts. I'm going to show you an example, a comparison here between being accountable and not being accountable, okay? Being accountable is in red on the right side. The person who is accountable seeks reality. He has awareness. What's the situation? He wants to understand what's the situation. Okay? If you're not accountable, you won't seek reality. You're ignorant. He asks no questions. But the person who's accountable always asks questions. 2, the accountable person acknowledges reality. He wants to get clarity. This is the way it is. Got it. I'll see what's going on. Now I understand. The person who's not accountable, he fights reality. He's in denial. This is not the way it is. That's not how I see it. That's your perception. Like the people who would tell you you're not going to succeed in real estate. I had a friend of mine who went to real estate, but he left this because it's all right. Okay. Number 3, accountable person owns it. He is energized and focused. If it is to be, then it's up to me. What do I want? That's my responsibility. You're responsible for your own success. Remember that. If you're not accountable, you'll be blaming. He blames. He projects his mistakes. If everybody would do their job, it's not my fault, it's yours. Why didn't you change something? He's always complaining. Number 4, if you're accountable, he finds solutions, possibilities. What are my options? How can I get what I want? What can I do? He thinks of solutions. He's a problem solver. But if you're not accountable, he will give personal excuses to deflect. It's not my job. I was never given a chance. It doesn't work. Like when he tells you lead generation doesn't work. Yeah, oh really? 5, accountable person gets on with it. He has an action plan. Just like when I said commit to self-mastery, you have to have an action plan. Not just, okay, I'm going to commit to self-mastery. You have to Set a plan. Let's get started. Time's up. Let's go. That's what I'll do. There is an action plan, and and it's not just a plan, it's an action plan. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3. The person who's not accountable waits and hopes. If it was meant to be, it will happen. Time will tell. It's out of my hands. I can't control. That's what. So the accountable will make a change. The unaccountable will be like a victim, and he will be status quo. So you will be the accountable person. Happiness is not an individual sport. That's Sean Anker. He's an author, said that. So if you want to be happy, it's in your own hand. Any ahas so far? Or questions about what we had about for the 6 personal perspectives?
I like the daily success system.
Yep.
Just to keep a log of
Yep.
things again every day and
Yeah.
see a progression. And
Yeah.
be able to identify what works best for you and what doesn't.
Very good. Yes, the success system. Yes. And my recommendation is do it on an Excel sheet on a day. Do this thing on an Excel and write it down. And then the Excel sheet will add up everything for you. Any other ahas or on Zoom as well? Or questions? Yep. Yes.
Percent of your actions need to say 80% of your results.
Yes.
So, for example, whatever you choose to do to annoy young youth, like door knocking or just meeting people out there,
Mm-hmm.
doing some of your simple like grocery shopping, if you have your card, you're starting a conversation with them and you don't have to board. So that really stood out.
Yeah, and very good idea here. You see what she said? Grocery shopping, if she bumps up into anybody and a conversation is open, always have your business card ready. By the way, I'm in real estate. If you ever have any question, give me a call. You never know. That person might buy something or sell something with you. You never know. Always be prepared. And always be, dressed for the occasion when you go grocery shopping. Sometimes, you may wear a training suit or coming out of the gym with flip flops or something. Always be dressed. I'm not gonna say professional, but at least, an acceptable way so that if you run into somebody and you give him the business card, he'll say that's the image of a real estate agent. Any other questions or ahas before we move to the next topic?
I like the different types of lead gen.
Yeah.
Try them all and see what works and what doesn't.
Exactly, because everybody will be different. I can't say, if you look at the top producers, don't think he's the best in door knocking or he's the best. No. It's everybody you're gonna find your strength in that. Some people are good than others. You could be better than me in cold calling or door knocking. So there's no rule. So you're just gonna have to discover what works for you, and you're gonna find that out within 6 months, not before that. Don't think, I tried this for 2 weeks, nothing. No, you just gotta give it time. You gotta be consistent as well. You gotta be consistent. Okay, for next slides. Now let's move to the second topic in our agenda, KW culture. So KW culture, we have MVVP, Red Day, KW Cares, KW Kids Can, Diversity and Equity, and Inclusion and Cultural Ambassadors. As we can see, we have a lot of things going on with KW culture. KW culture is a phenomenal culture. It's all about helping people. We're going to see what, like for example, the mission, values, beliefs in a little bit. And Red Day is a day where, that we get once a year to help to give to the community. KW Cares, if anybody in KW has any hardship, KW would jump in and help out. KW Kids Can help kids. Diversity, KW is all about diversity in helping, whether diversity in the clients or in the agents who join us. Equity for opportunities for everybody and inclusion of everybody, whether agents or clients. And cultural ambassadors. Okay.
Just to also put Red Day, everyone that's on Zoom, Red Day is May 9th. It's going to be in 3 weeks. So it's one of the biggest things for Keller Williams. It's our
Yes.
culture.
Yes, exactly.
So make sure you guys all attend.
Yes, exactly. So it's on May 9th, and if you want to come, it's very nice. We all wear red shirts, and we help out the community. So
it's the day, it's the day that we give back.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's look what MVVP stands for. M is for the mission, V is for vision, V is for values, B for beliefs, and P for perspectives. And the mission of Keller Williams is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. That's our mission for Keller Williams worldwide, and our market center, of course. The KW belief system, which is WI4C's 2Ts, and we're going to see that a lot as we're going through the Ignite framework. Win-win or no deal. Everybody should win from the situation, so it's not about tricking other agents or tricking a team member or tricking someone in the office. It's all win-win for everybody. So I'm not going to just go through with a deal when I know I'm hurting somebody. Integrity, do the right thing always. When you do it, your work, you do the right thing. Customers always comes first. And this is, an important commitment we always have to make. Always remember to bring your clients first before anything else. Commitment in all things, anything we work, and any client we work with. Communication, seek first to understand. Always communicate to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, equity, which I mentioned, opportunities for all success results through people. So success is not just something that you make by yourself, it results from all the people surrounding you. So that's the KW belief system. It's also in our this market center's website as well. We're going to see that there. Again, they're explaining more about Red Day. Renew, energize, and donate. The entire company sets aside the second Thursday of every May, as Dan said, May 9 for this year, to renew, energize, and donate within the communities we serve. KW Cares. It's dedicated to serving associates and their qualifying family members experiencing hardship as a result of a sudden emergency. And KW Kids Cam is dedicated to empowering young adults to unlock their greatest potential. Ahas or questions? It's good to understand the KW culture because always, when you're part of such a brokerage, you're proud and you want to convey that to your clients and also other agents you want to bring into Keller Williams. And of course, you know about the profit sharing, which we'll be discussing also, which is good for them and yourself. Now, KW value and market center value. KW Value Awards. As I mentioned at the beginning of the class today, KW is the largest global real estate franchise. Top franchise for veterans 2021. Top female-friendly company. Top 500 franchises. Top 500 franchises 2022. World's Best Employers 2021. America's Best Customer Experience 2022. That's very good that customers like us that much. America's Best Employers for Women and New Grads. Best Employers for Diversity and 2021 and more. And that's, for example, it's good to know for yourselves so you know where you belong. And it's good to, because if you're talking to, let's say you're talking to a potential client, he might tell you, why should I work with Keller Williams? So you just lay them out. Why? That's why. #1 brokerage in the world. He said, oh, well, there's Remax, there's Vista Sotheby. Well, lay that out so that they would know. Training and coaching. Of course, Keller Williams is one of the best when it comes to trainings. They even have a Keller Williams University, as we see. Connect and Connect Live. Connect is an exclusive online platform dedicated for your training. You will find a lot of training videos, whether live or recorded, whatever topics you want. Okay? Because there's Keller Williams Clouds, okay? That platform feeds KW commands and KW connects and my KW internet, intranets, not internet, intranets. Okay? You, since belonging to Keller Williams, all have username and passwords to access that. KW command is very good because that's where you're going to have your database. You get a free database or CRM where you feed all, you know how you capture leads and you feed the database, you put them in here. And the good thing about that is you have like smart plans where you can generate, for example, automatic emails to go and follow up with them, send them market updates. That's one of the good things about that. So and also that's where you're gonna upload all your documents when you open escrow. Okay, where the TC work or transaction coordinator work with you. Connect, as I mentioned, is for the training. Is the same username and password for command. And my KW intranet also is a different username and password for that. You would have access to a lot of marketing materials, a lot of documents, and a lot of technology sources. You also would have the KW app. You know that you have a KW app assigned to you. You could give to your buyers on their home search. You can just let me give you my KW app, and it will be custom made for you. So when you give it to him, whenever he searches for something and he likes, you will be able to see that, and it would show, oh, you have your own customized application. That's good. There's always local and regional training, so I recommend that you guys would always look at the training calendar that KW offers every month, the Market Center offers every month. There's events, annual events like Family Reunion and Mega Camp it's recommended that you guys would attend. There's Keller Williams University and Ignite courses that we take. There's command training. There's KW Maps, Bold. Bold is a training, but you have to pay for. And sometimes the Market Center reimburses you for the Bolds when you close a transaction. The technology of which I just discussed, your integrated end-to-end Keller Cloud platform for running and growing your business. And as I mentioned, Keller Cloud, it offers a smart business solutions for agents and smoother transactions for clients. And we discussed about the command app, the KW app here. And this is the Market Center. We already discussed the mission, values, and beliefs and perspectives. And KW Cares is coming up on May 9. Operating principle, we have Al D'Amico, we have many. We have Jennifer, team leader John Morris, Market Center coordinator Paige, and ALC members. I'm among the ALC members. As I mentioned, I'm the chairman of the Associate Leadership Council for Luxury Homes. Now we're going to discuss profit share and growth share. The beautiful thing about Keller Williams is you have profit share. Why is that beautiful? Because it could be passive income that has no risk, no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, and no phone costs. All you need to do is recruit another agent to join Keller Williams. That's it. You will sponsor him. And when that agent makes a sale, you will get a profit share from that sale. And if let's say you recruit David, and David recruits Michael, and Michael recruits Melissa, all this downstream, you will make out of all that. So if you're good at recruiting agents, you can make passive income. A lot of people making thousands of dollars of that without any risk. So maybe you're good at that. So always think of recruiting people. And it's not your job to convince that agent to come to the market center. All you need to do to spark his interest, connect him with John. And John will take it from there. John will know how to recruit that person. Ahas so far? Any questions? Okay. KW resources. So, Keller Williams is a very big company, okay? They were thinking about going public, but they haven't yet. But when they had a private valuation, maybe a year ago or something, it was like $40 billion, billion with a B. So it's KWX, which holds Keller Williams and Keller Williams Worldwide and Keller Manage and Keller Offers and Keller Financial Home Services, which Keller Financial Home Services consists of Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. All these are designed to serve you as agents and your clients, okay? Because some people, some clients would care much about how the corporate structure looks like. So what is this, so it's a brand name, it's a big company. KW Communities, we mentioned diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's KW Commercial, dedicated just for commercial properties. There's KW Land for land, KW Luxury, which I'm a member of, KW Military, KW New Homes, KW Sports and Entertainment, KW Young Professionals. All these are communities. Any ahas so far or questions? Okay. Career vision. So this is like a goal setting, but a different way. Imagine you went to the future 1 year from today. Today is what, April 16? Imagine you went to April 16, 2025. And you're sending a letter back to yourself in time, like Back to the Future. And you're saying, what is the accomplishments you made? You're telling yourself this. Your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have real estate needs. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You are the top agent in your market center or rookie of the year if you're new. You are poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business, the 20-80 principle rule. You are on the path to, that's the part where you fill in, that's customizable for you. So write a letter when you get back home for that. And when you finish writing it, put it in a place that you'll remember a year from now and see if you accomplish it. Okay? And you'll be surprised. That's setting a goal, you're having a vision. And then your big life, imagine, forget about this number, but whatever number you're going to think of, it could be 500, it could be 100,000, whatever it is. Think of what you're going to do with the money a year from now, and put in these boxes. It's always good to think, I'm going to get this dream car, I'm going to buy this house, I'm going to get this for my parents, whatever. I'm going to give this, you said you had a girlfriend, right? I'm going to give this to my girlfriend, give this to my wife, give this to my husband, whatever. Okay? To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. Your big why. Always ask yourself, Gary Keller said that. Always ask yourself, what's the big why? Why are you doing all this? Okay? What's the reason? If you know a big why, that will keep motivating you. Some people are doing this for their kids, doing it for their spouse, doing it for their parents, doing it because they want to have a lot of money. They want to live a life by design. They want to get to do whatever they do, So always put the big why in front of you, and you'll keep going. That will keep your mindset positive, and you'll move forward with what you need to do. So now we're going to discuss about commission, and we're going to touch on that again on session 20. Okay? So if you're the listing agent in this example, what happens to your commission? Well, half of it goes to the other agents, the buyer agent in this case. But of course, after the NAR settlement that happens, there's going to be, officially, that's not what's going to happen. But it is assumed it's going to go like this because the buyer, let's say you're a listing agent, the buyer agent is going to call you up and say, is the seller offering a buyer agent commission or not? Of course, when you sign the listing agreement, you're going to explain to the seller that's the best way to go. Do not say you're not going to pay a buyer agent commission because that would reduce your chances of selling the home. So, in other words, you're supposed to be getting a buyer agent commission if you're a buyer agent, but it will be not on the MLS. It's going to be on a platform other than the MLS because that's the new regulation. MLS, no more. You cannot say the seller is paying the commission and how much. But you can mention on the website, you can mention in the email, whatever. Anyway, the market center, and our market center, as you know, of course, the maximum that's going to be, you cap at 16,000, 13,000 for the portion that the split that the market center gets, and 3,000 for royalties, total of 16,000, which is very low compared to many other brokerages. Some brokerages have 23,000, but we're only at 13 and 3. Business expenses, taxes, and then take your home. We're going to go into more details on that in session 20, but not here. Okay, so here, let's just take an example of what is like the goal you want for your income a year from now. Let's just give an example and see how, because the good thing about planning or setting a goal is we're not just setting a goal, we're having an action plan how to attain that goal, what is needed. So it's not just we want a number, but how are we going to get that number? We have to go with math. And by the way, the numbers that we're tracking every day from contacts and lead generation will help us in that. We're going to see how, but let's set a number. What number you want to assume? Let's assume the number you want to make it simple is $100,000 net income after everything, after all the expenses. So how are we going to get to that? Your goal is net income goal, $100,000 in a year after all the expenses. So how do we get that? We add to it the company dollar and royalty cap, which is the 16,000 that I mentioned, the 13 company dollar and the royalty 3,000, because after that 100% commission is yours. Nobody takes anything else. And then business expenses, and the number here, it's very aggressive. It's not going to be 64,000, but let's just assume, business expense, you control that. Whatever you spend on marketing, whatever you spend on mileage or gas or car repairs or gifts for client, whatever. But of course, the number here is exaggerated a little bit, but let's assume that, it's better to overestimate the expense than to underestimate it, So that gives us a total gross commission of $180,000. So that means you need to make sales worth of $180,000 of gross commission. And gross commission means, when you get a check for commission, before any deductions. Okay? So that's what you need to get. So how do I make $180,000? What do I need? How many homes do I need to sell? We are blessed by God that we work in California. We sell homes in California, so the average commission is kind of high. Okay? So if we say an average commission, and I'm not going to be aggressive, I'm just going to take like an average, $20,000. That's the gross commission. Okay? And that's a home less than $1 million to get that. That's the average commission that's there. So that would tell us the number of annual transactions we need to get, because you're going to divide the 180,000 gross commission income by the average commission, which would give us 9 annual transaction. That will be your annual transaction goal. Not you, I'm just giving an example. Whatever goals you set for yourself will determine that. But it's just showing you how you would think. Some of you may have higher expectations or higher goals. Some of you may have lower goals. So it depends on what you want to do. But that's how you would calculate it, You start with the net that you want. You would add to it the company dollar royalty cap and add to it business expense that you estimate. And then you divide that by the average commission. And then that will show you the number of transactions. Of course, that's combined sellers and buyers. So you need to get 9 sellers and buyers. Of course, we're not going to do it in this class, but you're going to think, how am I going to get 9 transactions? As you're doing the daily success system and you're keeping track of those numbers every day, you will be seeing how many leads you're getting and what is converting and what is not. So for example, if it takes me, for every 50 calls I make, I get 1 lead, okay, and so I make like 7 leads a week, assuming, I'm just giving an example. Okay, what is the conversion rate from the 7 leads? Because not all these leads are going to convert. So it's another step. It would work with you when you work with your mentor or your productivity coach in that. Or John. Okay? Any questions about this income goal? Okay. Daily success system, we discussed that. So here's what you need to focus on right now. 10 conversations. So every day, just be accountable. Out of the 10 conversations, how many did I make? How many contacts did I add? You're supposed to add, ideally, 10 contacts every day. When you say added, that means added to the database. Because when you have a meaningful conversation with somebody, let's say contact means someone who answered the phone and had a conversation about real estate. So if you call somebody and you get a voicemail, that's not considered a contact. If you send a text to somebody and he did not respond, that's not a contact. A contact, it has to be a conversation back and forth. So you talk to 10 people, only one of them may sell their home in 3 months, for example. May or may not. So that's a lead you want to add to the database. That's why it says out of 10 contacts added. So if he sells, he's going to be buying in 6 months. Okay, that will be added. You're talking to a contact and said you want to interested in selling or buying real estate in the near future. No, I'm not interested. Please don't contact me again. It's okay, no problem. Do you know anybody who's interested, friends or neighbors? He might tell you, he might not. So definitely the person who's not interested is not added to the database. You add to the database only the contact that has potential of becoming a buyer or seller. Handwritten notes, this is, up to you if you want to read, give a handwritten notes to people, to connect with them, or you can give a flyer with your logo on it and number and, website. And we already discussed the 1051 social media engagement. And the fifth thing is the enrichments. Enrichments is learning something new every day. Something, whatever it is, something new you learned on the MLS, something you knew about the forms. And that's, these things are watch the new video and you came out with something. Something you learned in class today. Just write what you learned today so that you feel that you accomplished something. That's the daily success system. Before I conclude, I wanted to go with the sphere definition because you're going to notice out of all the lead generation forms, the sphere of influence is going to be the strongest one that's going to give you leads. Okay? Sphere is anybody you've met before in a way or shape or form. It could be your, friends. It could be a colleague at work and school, of course, and a family member. So you need to engage in a conversation and see if they're thinking of doing real estate. You always have to constantly remind everybody of your sphere of influence that you're in real estate, whether through a social post on social media or call them and let them know that you're in real estate. So by the way, I got my real estate license. Let me know if you're thinking of selling or buying in the near future. If they tell you, actually not right now, I'm not thinking, it's okay. Do you know anybody from your work, from your neighbors who's thinking of selling or buying? Of course, they're going to have that conversation with you. This conversation, of course, is tougher when you're talking to a stranger on a cold call. Most likely, you're going to find when you do the cold calls, they're going to hang up in your face. But some people get results from that. But I'm just saying the easiest way is talking to your sphere. It will be more encouraging and less discouraging than talking to strangers. So always engage in conversations with your sphere. And when you talk to your sphere, use the forward methods. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. What does that mean? Let's say you're invited to a barbecue and you're talking whether to one of your friends or a friend of a friend. So how's your family? I heard you're going to have a baby. He said, oh yeah. So are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? They're going to ask you. That's a conversation. Occupation. So what do you do for a living? What's your occupation? He's going to tell you, for example, I'm an engineer. What do you do? Then that's when you say, I'm a real estate agent. Okay? Recreation. So did you go to the cruise you were planning on going to? I'm thinking of taking a cruise myself, There were dreams. So did you buy that Porsche that you were thinking of? And he would respond, Always, these are the center, the forward is the center way of engaging in a conversation with your sphere of influence. Always try to catch your sphere on the move, because typically a person would sell his home and buy another within 7 to 10 years. So always be in connection with them, always touch with them. And there's ways on smart plans on command where you can do that. Okay? Don't be a secret agent. People tend to forget what occupations are. Do you remember every single one of your friends what they do for a living? I think you might forget some. Well, girls' memories are better than guys, but yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Well, I tend to forget. I sometimes forget my cousin is a pharmacist. So I'm sure it's the same way around. They forget that we're in real estate. So you got to remind them. Always on. You know anybody looking to sell buy? Oh yeah, okay. The conversation happened yesterday with a coworker who's looking of buying. I'm going to give him your number. He's not going to remember right away when the conversation sparks in front of him that his coworker wants to sell that his cousin or his friend is in real estate because you didn't remind him. So always be on his mind. Constantly touch on your sphere. Ahaz? Or questions? Okay, good. I would appreciate, guys, if you scan the QR code.